So, you're nearing the end of your surrogacy journey. That final stage, the hospital delivery, it's not just a waiting game. Think of it more like a mission. And today, we're going to break down your command center, turning what feels really complex into a clear, totally manageable plan. Let's dive in.
This quote from our source material really just hits the nail on the head. This isn't only an emotional milestone, it's a huge project management feat. The real key here is blending that incredible joy with a kind of precision you'd see in a well-run mission.
And that's the big question, right? How do you actually do it? So we're going to shift from the why this is all so complicated to the practical how you can absolutely master it. We're going to walk through this step by step using 4 key phases.
All right, let's start with phase 1, building the foundation. This is all about the strategic planning you'll do months before the birth. It's about managing medical safety and, just as importantly, financial risk. This is the bedrock for the entire mission. First up, the hospital. And look, this decision isn't about luxury suites or fancy lobbies. It is a strategic choice based on 3 total non-negotiables. It's got to be close to your surrogate's home for her safety. It has to have a top-tier NICU for the baby's potential needs. And it absolutely must be in network with her insurance to avoid just catastrophic bills. Now, that last point about insurance, it is huge, and it leads us right into one of the most misunderstood parts of surrogacy in the U.S.
Okay, this is a concept every intended parent needs to tattoo on their brain: the umbilical cord rule. The second that cord is cut, your baby is officially a brand new, totally separate patient. So why does this matter so much? Because at that exact moment, the surrogate's insurance policy, poof, it typically stops covering your baby. It is a critical financial turning point that so many people miss.
And this is why that rule is no joke. The stakes are incredibly high. A serious stay in the NICU can easily run $500,000 or even more. This is exactly why getting your own specialty newborn insurance locked in, ideally by 28 to 30 weeks, is one of the most important things you can do to protect yourself.
Another piece of the puzzle during this phase is cord blood banking. Now, this is a totally personal decision, but if you do decide to go for it, just remember, the logistics are all on you. You've got to get that collection kit ordered and ready for your surrogate to bring to the hospital somewhere around 34 to 36 weeks.
Okay, with that foundation set, let's move into phase 2, the final countdown. Now our focus shifts from that long-term strategy to the immediate, hands-on, practical logistics you'll be dealing with in that last month or 2.
A surrogacy birth plan is a unique thing. It's less about your personal birth preferences and way more of a script for roles and boundaries. The golden rule couldn't be simpler. The surrogate makes every decision for her body, and you make every decision for the baby. This plan also helps you map out things like room etiquette, where to stand for privacy, and that absolutely magical first handoff for skin-to-skin contact.
All right, let's talk about your legal toolkit. I love how our source material frames this. First, you have the pre-birth order, or PBO. This is your golden ticket. Seriously, it's the legal document that proves you're the parents, and it is your key to getting out of the hospital. Then you've got the power of attorney, or POA. Think of this as your plan B. It lets a trusted person make medical decisions if, for whatever reason, like a canceled flight, you just can't be there yourself.
And speaking of that golden ticket, it is the absolute #1 item on your hospital bag checklist. Your bag is going to look different. You're not packing for postpartum recovery. You are packing legal documents, IDs for security, a car seat, which is totally non-negotiable for discharge, and a few other essentials you literally cannot leave the hospital without.
Now, if you're planning on using your surrogate's breast milk, just remember you're responsible for all of the logistics. This means fair compensation for her time and effort. About $300 a week is pretty standard, plus renting a hospital-grade pump and figuring out a reliable cold shipping method to get it home.
And now we're here, the main event, phase 3, arrival. This is where all that planning really pays off as you navigate the birth itself and those critical first 48 hours.
So once your baby arrives, they're going to get the exact same care as any other newborn in a U.S. hospital. This means the vitamin K shot, the Hep B vaccine, and a bunch of routine screenings. Here's a helpful tip. Don't panic if they get an initial refer on the hearing screen. That happens all the time. A really key milestone for going home is passing that bilirubin test for jaundice. While everybody, of course, hopes for a full-term delivery, you have to be prepared for the NICU. And this chart shows you why in a really powerful way.
For IVF twins, there's roughly a 60% chance of a preterm delivery. Understanding that and planning for that possibility is a core part of your mission.
So if the NICU does become part of your story, what's the path home? Well, it's not about a specific number of days. Discharge is all about the baby hitting these 4 critical milestones: breathing on their own, eating successfully, keeping their body temp stable, and gaining weight like a champ. Okay, for parents of preemies, this is a super important safety warning. Doctors might prescribe a high-calorie formula to help with catch-up growth. You have to follow the mixing instructions to the letter. Never, ever try to DIY a stronger concentration. It can be really dangerous for the baby's kidneys.
You did it. You made it through the delivery. You're through the hospital stay. Now for the final phase of the mission, the journey home. This is all about getting your new little one from the hospital to your front door, safe and sound.
If your baby was born before 37 weeks, they'll need to pass one more test before they get discharged. It's called the car seat test. For about 2 hours, the staff will just monitor the baby's oxygen levels while they're in their car seat, just to make sure they can breathe safely and comfortably for the ride home. It's a simple but really vital safety check. And for those of you who are flying home, here are some excellent safety strategies. The safest bet is to book a separate seat and use an FAA-approved car seat instead of the lap infant option. Choosing a window seat helps create a little germ bubble away from all the aisle traffic. And a great pro tip for long flights, pack that ready-to-feed liquid formula because you can't use the tap water on the plane for mixing.
So there it is. After all the planning, the checklist, the logistics, the mission is complete. You've navigated one of the most complex and one of the most meaningful projects of your entire life to bring your child home. And with that mission accomplished, the real adventure, well, that's just getting started.